To Notary Audio Notary Training Channel. Our app is your comprehensive guide to becoming a skilled and confident notary public and notary signing agent. Whether you're new to notarization or looking to refine your skills, our channel and app is designed to support your journey every step of the way. The information provided in these trainings material is intended for educational and informational purposes only. It is not meant to substitute for legal advice or to serve as a legal guidance. While every effort has been made to ensure the accuracy and completeness of this content, laws and regulation governing notarial acts can vary significantly by jurisdiction and are subject to change. As a user of these materials, you are responsible for ensuring compliance with all applicable laws and regulations in your area. We are not liable for any errors, omission, or for any actions taken based on the information contained within these materials. If legal advice or other expert assistance is required, the services of a competent professional should be sought. Our mission to empower you with the knowledge, techniques, and confidence needed to provide top-notch notarial services, ensuring every signing is conducted with the utmost professionalism and care. So now let's jump into the document that we're going to cover today. Is as is residential contract for sale and purchase. This is a Florida document. So it's going to have like Florida information, as you can see on the top right. It says Florida Realtors. Okay, so as is residential contract for sale and purchase, which is a form commonly approved by the Florida Realtors and the Florida Bar for real estate transaction in Florida. As a notary signing agent explaining this document to a signer, you should clarify that the as is, as you see right here, the as is nature of a contract means the property is being sold in its current condition and the seller will not be responsible for making repairs or improvements before the sale, except as otherwise negotiated or required by law. So with this type of document here, you see the parties, which is the seller, and the buyer or buyers. So you want to make sure you point out the important sections of this contract, such as the buyer's information, the property description, okay, the purchase price, okay, the deposit amount, and most importantly, you also want to tell them, of course, let's go to the next page, the closing date, okay. You want to also emphasize that the signer should read and understand all terms and conditions of the contract and that they have the right to seek legal advice before signing. As you're going to notice, as you go through the pages, there'll be stuff that's marked off and they're basically acknowledging that information. So you want to make sure that they understand what they're signing and they're seeing those what's marked off basically. Okay, you want to make sure the signer understands that as a notary signing agent, you are not providing legal advice or personal opinion about the contract, but are there to ensure that all signatures are authenticated, willing, and notarized correctly. If they have any questions outside of your privy, you basically want to tell them to reach out to their contact. Okay, so let's go to the signing pages, which is like page 13. Oh, another thing I wanted to, let me actually go back. So you also want to make sure you scroll and you're going through the whole page. So as you can see at the bottom here, it says buyer initial, seller initial. So whoever you're dealing with, if you're dealing with the buyers, you want to make sure the buyer's initial, and when they initial, you want to make sure they initial as their name is. So LDAS. If they had a middle name, LBDABS, whatever their middle name, if they had one. But if it's just their first and last name on that document, then they initial as that their name is there. So LD and AS. So one initial here, and then the second person will initial there. If you're dealing with the seller, same thing. The seller in this case is a bank, so their initial EB. So you just want to make sure that whoever's there is signing, and you want to check every page to make sure that you don't miss anything. So obviously they look like they're initialing everything on this page. All right. So now we did that. Let's go to the signing page. I don't want to take a lot of time on this document. Just went over the brief description of what it is and so forth. So on this as is residential contract for sale and purchase, you want to go down here, and then you see here, it says buyer, seller, date. So whoever's in front of you, if you're doing a closing with both parties, you make the buyer sign, then the seller sign, and both date it. If you're dealing with just the buyer, then just the buyer sign. So basically, it would look something like this. Say we're with the buyers, right? So we have the buyer sign. Let me find. Let's get their sign here. So the buyer would sign here. In this case, it's two buyers. So buyer sign here, and date and date. So let's get the dates. Of course, they'd be signing with blue ink. I should probably change these to blue ink. Everyone should be signing and writing in the same color. So I'm just going to make it the same just so you guys will get confused. Like if you're filling out that document, it's good that your ink color is the same as their ink color. And in this case, it's a purchase, so the ink is blue. So everyone should be signing in blue. The buyer's address, so they would put their address there. Okay. And then would go on to the next page. Oh, as for, I was mentioning before, and I didn't make you do it, but so let's go back to another page. This page has initials, so we would then initial. It says have him initial, but initials, we're just gonna put initials. So we're just going to put initials. Initials. We're going to have them initial. Make sure they initial every page that has initial. All right. The sign, date, address. That's it on this page because we're only dealing with the buyer in this instance. So we only that was it for that page because we're only dealing with the buyer in that instance. Then we come here. There's no initial. There'd be a number here and the county. So we're going to go to the next page. So we're here on the next page and we're going to scroll down. And then the buyer side again here. So we're going to have them sign here because it's two buyers, remember? And then we're going to have them date for us. Date. Contact person information would be there. Here you are going to acknowledge the receipt of this copy of this page if you gave them a copy. So they're going to acknowledge that they saw it and that they have a receipt of this page. So then we're going to initial again. Both buyers are going to initial. Okay. So they both initial, they both sign, they fill this out. Then we can go to the next page. So that's the last page. So that's basically all you're doing here on this document, okay? You gave them that brief description, what an as-is residential contract for sale and purchase is. You made them initial every page that had the initial at the bottom. You want to check throughout the document where the initial areas are, whether it's at the bottom of the page or an instance. So you just want to make sure, the initial everywhere that they had initial like that. These initial was clear as day. Sometimes you have to initial in places that, you don't even, that may not even look like this is kind of small, but you got to read it, you initial it just to acknowledge that you received. Sign, date. We filled out all the pages on this document, and this is how you fill out an as-is residential contract for sale and purchase. Thank you for checking out the Notary Audio channel. Please subscribe, ring the bell, like, share. We appreciate it. Thank you. And just let us know. Comment at the bottom or send us a message or DM us on our social media on documents you would like us to go over or any questions you may have so we can address them and make sure everyone is getting the questions that they have answered and are learning what they need to know. Some states are different. So if you have a state document you weren't sure of, You had a question about it, you can always ask a question like, on this document here in North Carolina, what is it? And we have all the documents, tons of it, so we can look it up and we can go over it with you and show you how to do it. Thank you. Have a great day.